Hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday's Focus on Finances. My name is Jamie Fleming, and today we're going to be talking about 3 financial literacy tips to teach your young kids, tweens, teens, and young adults. So, do your kids handle money well? Good financial education for children is important for their future. And if you're a parent that worries about their children's money future to the point where you enable their bad money habits, these tips can dramatically impact your financial future and well-being too. It is a fact that money represents an important part of our lives. Therefore, it is advisable for early childhood education to include the basics of how to properly deal with finances. From an early age, little ones are able to realize that the much desired toy, new clothes, vacation trip, and even lunch they purchase at school depend on money. So gradually introducing financial education into your children's lives is an important contribution to their financially balanced futures. And the best part is that you can foster good financial habits in fun and natural ways. This week's Focus on Finances, I'm delving into 3 tips that I use with my own family and can attest to their effectiveness. You'll walk away this week with good ideas on how to teach your kids the value of money from the earliest ages to young adulthood. So, number 1, begin the financial literacy process as early as possible. Have your children be a part of the process of even opening a simple savings account. I'm going to show you a picture here of my little ones in this process. If they're part of the process, they can be part of the process of establishing relationships with money sources and talking to your kids, of course, about spending, saving, and tithing are all really important elements of financial education. So 7 years ago in April, 3 days after my kiddos turned 5, as a part of their 5-year-old birthday experience, Isabel and Kinley met my banker at the time, Gabby. I was at the time with Union Bank. They opened their very first bank account and made their first deposits on their own. Financial literacy for kids can start really early. My kids are already learning about tithing and saving first. And you can tell by their expressions, it tells the whole story, as well as their chosen attire. They chose their own outfits because of the importance this meeting was and felt to them. So the next picture is taken just a few days after their 12th birthday. And as part of their financial literacy, we spoke about the difference between credit card and debit cards. They happen to have accumulated quite a bit of cash, as you can see in the picture, and checks from Christmas and birthdays. So it was time to open a new dividend-paying checking account. And giving them the experience of having a debit or ATM card attached to this particular account. They have more independent time with their friends, and now is a good time to teach them about how they're spending their money and for what. They went through the entire process at the bank, including electronically signing their names to their accounts. They deposited their funds and now have the experience of going into their bank and making deposits actually on their own. The VP of the bank gave them VIP treatment. And now when they go into the bank manager always greets them, and the regular tellers now know them by name. This is such an important lesson to know how banking works, establish relationships, and begin establishing good money habits and good credit for their future. Number 2 is do things together as a family. Exercise, garden, cook, and eat together. This next picture is a picture of our garden. So my kids also exercise with me often, which I really love. We walk our dog together in the mornings and have family discussions about everything from what's happening at school to what their summer goals are. We also had our first harvest. You can see in the picture from our garden a few months ago. The kids absolutely loved the fresh items from our garden and appreciated how much better these items actually tasted. We also went through the process of figuring out how much it costs to grow items in our garden versus buying them at the store. So when we had our first harvest, which included broccoli, Kinley requested Korean bowls with our fresh broccoli. So we also took a moment to figure out eating this meal at a restaurant versus cooking at home. So I had each of them guess for both. And I did this on a chalkboard with them so they could visually see it as we went along. So Kinley guessed that ordering this dish for our family at a restaurant, this would be a family of 4, by the way, at a restaurant, including tax and tip, was $50. Bella guessed $75. The actual amount was $46.65. Then I had them guess how much it would cost to make the same dish at home. Kinley guessed $20 and Bella guessed $15. The actual amount for 4 people for the same dish in the restaurant was only $12.25. So it was really awesome to do this visually on the chalkboard because they immediately got it that we could have this meal at home about 4 times for the same amount as eating out once. These are such good money lessons as kids get older and go out into the world on their own. Teaching them basic cooking skills, having them pick a meal to make at home, and then actually doing the actual grocery shopping for the meal really gives them future healthy money skills, as well as skills to impress when they can whip up a nice meal for themselves or for someone else. So number 3 is help your children make wise money choices. And we want to do this by making sure we're talking about what's important to them, what goals they have, and what they need to do to achieve those goals. It's easy for kids and teens, and let's face it, most adults, to be in the moment when it comes to spending money without really thinking about the long-term consequences. If we make it a point to talk about goals that require money, then the whole family can actually buy into the process, really, literally. On this particular day that I was talking to my kids, we were having morning money talk, and we were doing this before school started. They actually brought it up, and my kids spend time regularly with another friend, and they go to a neighborhood market to get a treat for themselves, and they feel very grown up. They're using their own money from allowances and such. And on their own, they decided that each week, one of them would buy for the group, totaling $9, so $3 each. Bella's become more and more money conscious and has decided that she's going to bring snacks from home, given that the cost is about a third from buying at the neighborhood market. The discussion was about choices, and she was deciding what was her priority, what was important to her. We also talked about the fact that the other 2 had already bought for each other, and that she can make her money decisions going forward, but in fairness, needed to fulfill her agreement to the group. She agreed and later came back to the table with $6. Now, her brother Kinley immediately started to complain that it wasn't fair because that would only give them $2 each. My daughter patiently, and she isn't normally the most patient when it comes to this, but she patiently waited and then explained to her brother that she was bringing $6 to cover snacks for him and their friend because it was the right thing to do. But she was just deciding not to spend $3 on herself. I asked if that felt okay to her, wondering if she was feeling left out. She actually shared with me that she felt great because she was still hanging out with her brother and their friend. She had already packed her own snacks, which she pointed out were healthier and less expensive, and she had more money going towards her actual personal financial goals. Talking about money goals with your kids and creating a way for them to achieve them now will set them up with a financial foundation for life. Having kids understand the value of money by letting them pay for things on their own is a great place to start. For bigger ticket items, you can cost share. For example, my son wanted a really nice set of walkie-talkies, 4 for $50. They had great coverage and clarity. They had good reviews. My kids didn't have cell phones, so this was his solution to that situation. He did all the research, and we looked at them together with all the reviews. I told him I would order them for him, but that he needed to put in 50% of the funds. He had gotten some Amazon gift cards for his birthday that he was able to use. He was so excited that I said yes, and he didn't mind at all using his gift cards for this purchase. This was such a powerful way to teach kids about the value of money. In my experience, kids take care of these items better since they have a financial interest in the purchase. This also helps them decide if they really want something or if it was just an in the moment desire. As much as possible, have kids buy some of their own things, especially when it comes to expensive clothes, shoes, etc. You'll be doing them a huge favor in the long run. As of this focus on finances, right now as I'm speaking, my kids are actually riding their bikes to the bank to deposit new checks they received from chores and internship. And then they're actually heading to the grocery store. They asked if I needed anything and also asked if they can plan for dinner tonight. I love how they're taking the initiative and having their own experiences at 12 years old. I cannot wait to continue this financial journey with them and see them grow in this way. These are just a couple of financial literacy tips I use successfully with my own kids. I hope this was helpful for you. Have fun with it. It keeps our family close and all working together. And if you have any questions, please take advantage of our complimentary consultation. I'd love to help put strategies in place that helps both you and your kids thrive financially. Thanks, everyone, and I will see you next time on Friday's Focus on Finances.